Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the March mid-month Outturn preview tasting. Myself and
Linguini.
Linguini, as she's commonly known. That. Lynn, you threw that name at us for a nickname. We didn't give that to you. You said I go by Linguini.
Yes. It was a high school teacher who gave it to me.
Oh, is it?
I was a bit of a big gal back in the day, just waking up and eating ice cream for breakfast and stuff. So, yes.
You know, that's just that's training for your whiskey palate, because now all those ice cream notes, the different chocolates and the caramels and the fudges and the mint and all that stuff, now you can draw back on that now for those whiskey tasting notes.
That's right. That's right. That's this kind of leads into the first whiskey.
Anyway, we got 6 whiskeys tonight. Just to take it easy on our palates, the first 2 we probably won't spend as much time on as we generally do. We'll kind of move through those, just spend a little bit more time on the last 4 and take it a little bit easier on our livers as well. I am drinking a little bit of a yellow spot in Irish whiskey since it was St. Patty's Day weekend, just as a little palate warmer upper. Get some whiskey on my palate.
Nice.
Lynn, any pre-drams for you?
No, it was pre-dramming the whole lineup. But I'm sober right now, so I won't be messy. Maybe by the 5th one, I will get messy again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we kind of breeze through the first 2 here and kind of give a quick take on those, I think it'll be a little bit easier on our livers and our blood alcohol content as well.
Yes.
This really is a good lineup. We say that a lot. There are some really good whiskeys. This is one of the better mid-month outturns I've seen, I think, for a while when it came to just the numbers on the bottles are good. And then just even the pre-samples that I've done, there's some good ones in here. So let's see real quick who's tuning in and commenting. Tom R is here. He was the first one. How you doing, Tom? We don't have any rum tonight, unfortunately. Bart and I did review 2 rums though today last night for the Scotch Test Dummies.
Ooh.
So Mamuka is here. Duke McHale, Jason Jones, Borderlander, Warren Buff, Christine Daisy. And that's all for now. Commenting. That's everybody that's commenting. More people tuning in and not commenting. But all right, let's get on with the first one. Anything else you want to throw in there before we get started, Lynn?
Nope.
All right. Oh, I need to get my white paper handy here too so I can show the color.
Ooh. While he's doing that, I told him earlier that I'm wearing this puffy shirt to make up for the muscles I don't have because Scott's so strong and buff. Anyways, okay, go ahead, Scott. Do your thing.
I like my shirt. Just got whiskey bourbon 24. That was worthy of wearing tonight.
Excellent.
All right. I'll let you introduce the first one here. I'll show the color.
Okay, so the first one we're having is cask number 48.154 under the Juicy Oak and Vanilla. And it's called Zingy and Lip-Smackingly Tasty. And this is an 8-year distilled in March 2013, 62% ABV, aged in our first fill barrel. And yeah.
I had to turn my light. Oops, sorry. Running everything over. Here we go. First fill barrel, 8 years, first fill barrel, really about what you'd expect color-wise. Not some nice influence here. If anything, maybe even a little bit darker than you may expect on an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. I know you want to breeze through this, so I will have you take the lead on this, Captain.
Malty, I saw you blowing your nose. Are you kind of plugged up?
I'm still sick.
Oh,
so,
are you?
Yeah.
How's all the senses?
Good. I mean, I'm better. I don't feel dead inside, which is nice, finally.
Oh. Well, that's good. Yeah. I don't want you feeling dead inside.
My taste buds are decent, I think. Yes.
All right. Malty, citrusy. I mean, there's some nice toasted oak on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
A little bit of apple.
I get Rice Krispie treats on the nose and apple. Huh.
Mark JG tuning in. That's Mark Goins. Talked to him on the phone the other day.
Nice.
Mamuka says he has the same shirt.
Very cool.
Mine, not yours, Lynn.
That's good.
All right, let's get a quick tasty in on the. I got some nice lime or lemon right there on the nose. Definitely. All right. Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. So, I got lots of banana Foster's cream vanilla for this one. So
I like that.
Yeah. Dessert paying off when I was a bigger mama back in the day.
That's there's the ice cream. You betcha. Nice vanilla custard. A little even bit of crispy marshmallow rice crispy marshmallow treat. Is that what it is? Yeah. I drew a blank there for a second. Rice crispy marshmallow treat. Really citrusy though. I mean, really, there's a lot of the lighter fruits and vanillas on this one. Juicy oak and vanilla. Great profile on this one. I think this is one of those that blind you would say this is a juicy oak and vanilla.
Yes.
Let's put a drop of water on this one real quick.
Oh, right.
We're gonna move right along on these first two.
Okay.
Jason Coates tuning in now.
I think with a few drops of water, it gets a little bit drier. So it becomes a little bit punchy. It's on the nutty side. I think I prefer having it neat just because I'm such a dessert fiend that the idea of tasting a banana's frosted cream sounds more enticing to me than the nuts. Not that I have anything against nuts, but
yeah. Light nuttiness, almonds almost. Maybe hazelnutty. I had something else I was going to say too. Then I forgot.
I'm
gonna put a little. I don't know if my first round of water did too much. I got a pretty healthy pour here, and at 62%. I don't think I added enough. I'm pretty sure I did there. Let me see though. I still like it. Really citrusy, lighter fruits showing up. Apples, maybe a little pear even. Do you have music on?
Oops, I lowered down the music. I just noticed that I tend to be a little bit quiet and shy, so I'll play some funk and to kind of relax myself. Yeah. So, anywho, is it still too loud? I have some funk in the background.
No, that's okay. Boo Ryan is saying, I've never had this distillery. Do they have a certain distillate profile? You know, we've had a few 48s. Within the last year, they're pretty popular. They tend to sell real good. And hold on. And even yeah.
Yeah. I don't have much experience with this distillery, so I don't have anything intelligent to say in terms of its like DNA. So,
well, we do have. So I was thinking 41 as well. We do have a 41 tonight. We'll be reviewing later. And I was thinking the other 48, at least one or two of the other 48s had been sherry casked as well. Maybe not, but Water really not hurting this one at all. I think we're good on. You got any more notes you want to give on this one?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Let me try it with a little bit more water here.
Okay. All
Actually,
right.
I think it may be helping this one, bringing it down a little bit. More
Okay.
tart, more juicy. I think that juicy oak and vanilla, the juicy part of that is really kind of coming to the forefront on it now.
Mm-hmm.
But still, lighter citrusy fruits, malty. The vanillas, light oaks, slight nuttiness. Really,
Yeah.
really nice whiskey for an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So then you're gonna move on to the cast number 6.69.
Yep, that's it.
All right. So this is under the spicy and sweet, and it's called Tyrant Show Thy Face. Oh, how dramatic. It's a 10-year, 64.1% from a Southern Highland region, aged in a second fill sherry butt. I have to say, I was surprised out of the whole lineup. This was my favorite.
This one surprised me. Just a couple of small sips when I got it in, and single cask. Let me look up the product page on this one, but as far as I can tell, this one was 10 years, second fill, ex sherry butt, and really the color, maybe because it's that second fill, it doesn't show 10 years of first fill sherry maturation. I don't believe in the color.
Yeah.
So it's probably that second fill ex sherry, but I was going to look up just to confirm. There is just one cask listed on the label, which is the second fill ex sherry butt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it was only pure second fill. And I was very surprised because when I tasted this, I was reminded of this Nutter Butter cookies.
Oh.
So it's like, imagine eating cookie butter or peanut butter or just any kind of sweet butter. It's pretty magical. I don't get any tannins on this. So if you like, yeah, cookie butter, that's what it tastes like to me.
All right. Yep. Near as I can tell, single cast. So second fill ex sherry butt, its entire maturation, 10 years. We don't see a lot of casks from this distillery either. When you look at the number 6.69, I mean, this is the 6th distillery that we ever purchased whiskey from, and it's only the 69th cask that we've released from them.
Mm-hmm. So,
the nose is rich.
Oh crap! I talked about the tasting notes. I forgot.
Nose first.
Sorry. Oh, okay. The nose. To me, it has almost like a toasty buns kind of thing. Toasted bread.
Yeah, there's toasted caramels, toffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's milder. I mean, it's not sherry bomb, region here. This is more refined, a little bit of an earthy, petrichor almost type smell.
Mm-hmm.
Humid earth, forest.
Yeah.
Nice. And what's our ABV on this one as it's scrolling?
64.1.
Oh no, here we go. Another 60. From 62 to 64.1. All right. Yeah. Cheers, Lynn. Let's get in on this one.
Cheers.
Wow. We had one. I about said there's a hint of Matchbox. We actually had one from last year named Hint of Matchbox. Hint of Matchbox up front on this one. Nice. A little bit of there's a little bit of a bitter burnt oak almost. And nuttiness as well here. A little bit darker though, almost like more like roasted toasted pecans or
Oh,
walnuts.
oh. Yeah, when I took a sip of this, I just instantly thought of like cookie butter, nutter butter cookies, and my eyes went, "Whoa, this is awesome!" So that's all I got. I don't have anything else. Just kind of reminding me of like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where they talk about trying to capture that childhood enthusiasm of like experiencing dessert for the first time.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
So yeah, I'm surprised because typically I think I like things that are older, and this one just really pumped me up. So
But I mean, it's a nice influence from this second fill, Oloroso.
yeah, I definitely don't pick up any of sherry cask influence,
Yep.
but I like the creaminess of it.
Well, and I'm guessing, my guess is Oloroso. It does just say sherry, but I go more Oloroso because it's drier and it's not sweet like Pedro Jimenez or something like it's spicy. There's some dark chocolate, some toffees. It is dry, a little bit astringent, really just on the back of the mouth.
I see more of those tannins and that dryness that you mentioned when there's water. That comes into play for me. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the sherry cask. Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to hazard a guess. I'm going to add 3 rounds. So I'm going in on 3 rounds. So I got a healthy pour. But I put three rounds of water at 64% ABV. I want to bring this one down a little bit. I bet it's going to get, maybe that sherry will start to show a little bit more. Again, I still wouldn't say this is a sherry bomb. It's very nice sherry influence here. I think that second fill, sherry butt on this one has just imparted some gentle flavors into Distillery 6.
I'm keen to exploring this distillery. So.
Oh yeah. Well, again, I'm going with water on this one. Really expanding, a little bit of tobacco showing now. I'm still sticking Oloroso on this one though, just because it's still that drier, spicy little, palate here. More traditional, classic Oloroso.
Yeah. That pepperiness also comes out with water, I think, too.
Yeah. Now I could be wrong though too, because I've had some before. They can go either way.
Scott, you're never wrong. Don't even.
You have something, you're like, oh man, that's Oloroso, and they're like,
whoever nope, questions you,
you're like, what?
Slap in the face. I don't know why I turned into a tiger mom, but I just feel like, nope, Scott's perfect. If anybody's wrong, it's me. You should question me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell, and it doesn't say anywhere, at least on our end, just that second fill like sherry butt, but I definitely lean more Oloroso.
Me too.
I would say a 90% chance.
Yeah.
Oloroso.
Yeah, totally.
And I'll let me one more sip with some water here. We'll move on. Spend a little bit more time with the next ones.
Yeah. A little hint of like a minty finish and black coffee. So.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. I like this one with water. Just bring it down. 64 is pretty hot. That's pretty high. I do like, and I would even play with this one a little bit and bring it down more to see what happens. But
oh, okay.
It's really setting in back. Great finish on it because it's really setting in the nuttiness of it and the oak. Just in the back of my taste buds, on the back of my tongue, even still even burning a little bit with 3 healthy rounds of water on it.
Okay.
Ooh. Boy, that one's, really nice. Nutty finish. Toasted nuts, nutter butter.
Yummy. I just ransacked Targets like the cookie aisle. Anyways. Okay, so we're moving on to
Little drink of water here. We are going to move on. We're going to move into a 20-year-old next. It's in the sweet, fruity, and mellow profile. We've got a couple of heavy hitters at the end. So I wanted to do this 20-year-old next. And I'll look here for sure. I think it's first fill ex bourbon. Sweet, fruity, and mellow. But before we got to the heavy hitters, I kind of wanted generally anything 20 years or older, I might have at the end of the lineup. But I wanted to, before we hit our taste buds with these heavier palate whiskeys, I wanted to do this one. So.
Okay, so we got cask number 63.114.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet, fruity, and mellow. It's called Epitome of the Flavor Profile. It's a 20-year, 59.6% ABV in a first fill barrel. Jeez.
Now this one, nice color, and really what you'd expect here. 20 years, first fill barrel, great influence here.
Yes, I like stuff from this distillery.
Yeah, and we get usually some sherry casks from Distillery 63, and they're just some of the best sherry casks that I've had have been Distillery 63s. This one is your chance for a Distillery 63 non-sherry cask, which I think the majority probably are sherry cask 63s that we get. Maybe 50-50 or slightly in favor of sherry, but a 20-year-old here is not disappointing.
Yeah, this is going to be great. It smells awesome. It reminds me of, did you ever try those things in Scotland? They call it like the Scottish tablets. It kind of
I don't think so.
Oh.
I didn't realize, though, we haven't done the tasting notes off of the bottles. Let's go back real quick just to 6.69. Tyrant, Show Thy Face. A complex and intricate whiskey that's hard to define. A sweet and full-bodied dram that's rewarding to sit and dissect patiently after reduction. So no real tasting notes there, but they did say a little bit of water on this one helps. I would agree. I get some berries. Sweeter berries, raspberries, tarts, breakfast, Danish.
I get French toast.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Maple syrup, a little bit of butter, pecans.
This reminds me of the donut shop or just the French deli that you're walking by in the morning as they're baking, and the fresh, everything fresh is rolling, right out the door, smell wise.
I would love to live next to a donut shop. That sounds like a dream.
Donuts and ice cream, is that right?
Yes. Okay.
Duke McHale. I haven't talked to Duke for a couple of weeks. Duke always calls in.
Yes.
But he's saying a fudge note, Lynn? Question mark.
For this
fudge?
one?
Yeah. Fudge? Or was that on that maybe I was on the previous one. It's been long enough. That should be this one.
Not on the nose yet. Yeah, I get more French toast on the nose.
Oh, and Warren Buff is throwing my numbers out the window. I thought the majority of our 63s are sherry casked. But he says of the 13 casks in the TTB from June of 21 until now, only 3 have been sherried. So the majority of our 63s have not been sherried. And Jason Coates says he much prefers his 63s in ex-bourbon. I'm going the other way. I like my 63s in some sherry. One of the best sherried whiskeys I've had was a 63 it was a sherry bomb. It was exclusive. I don't remember if it was Oloroso or Pedro Jimenez. Gorgeous, delicious whiskey. That was from 2018, 2019, so a few years back.
I guess when last week I told you I was like a famous rapper and I have a main piece and many side pieces. So I guess where I'm saying is Distillery 63 can be an ex-bourbon or sharable, and I'll take it off.
Yeah. True. Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So bad. So bad. Just be a player. Just kidding. Just kidding. But I'm not kidding. I don't know.
Man, I'm trying to remember that cast, that 63 that I had. And that was at our anniversary, actually, Jason, and you were here. Ben had brought that one at the time. That was oh man, I had that one for a long time before I killed it. I sipped that one slowly.
Okay.
All right.
Gonna go in on this.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Woo! That's a beauty.
In the Dark of the Abyss was the 63 from a few years ago. That was simply gorgeous. This one, wow. 20 years is showing on this one. Man, it hits you right up front. Just nice cask influence. Stoned fruits, peaches, pears.
Yeah. This is definitely like a baked peach cobbler pie.
Ooh.
Georgia peach spice where there's like nutmeg, cinnamon, honey, all the good brown sugar and things that will give you diabetes, but you feel good when you eat it at first.
Anything in moderation, just like whiskey.
That's right.
Oh, Warren Buff is pointing out Stuck to the Velcro. That was another one. Yeah, that was a really good one. I still got that one as well. That was a 63 sherry cask.
Okay. All right. This is tough because I said the last one was my favorite, but upon visiting this, I'm not changing my mind. I don't know. I'm charmed by the other one because it was like a young, inexpensive bottle, and then I liked it. This one is a fancy, but very delicious.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that it was that first one at the $95 mark for the 8-year Juicy Oak and Vanilla. $95 on that one. You almost don't see too many sub $100 bottles anymore. So that's a good chance there on a cheaper one.
Yeah.
Or less expensive, you would say.
Less expensive. But I say go big. Go big. Hit the 63.114.
This is a gorgeous whiskey that shows its age. You know, I mean, this is a gentle sipper where you just sit back, kick back, end of the night, relax, and enjoy this one, and let it just, you know, get you into the mood for bed.
Yeah. This is 84 bottles available in the U.S., Christine. But like Scott says, it's just got that gentle kind of warming feeling that just you want to cozy up to this one for sure.
Yeah. I put a healthy. I'm going to add. I got a pretty healthy pour here from showing the color, but get a little bit more water on that one. Yeah. Ooh. You know, and some of these as well, Jason Coates is pointing out the tropical fruit bombs that some will become in ex-bourbon. I don't think we're quite there yet. I'm not getting a blast of tropical fruits. You know, some of these you get up in the 20s, age-wise, and those tropical notes from those ex-bourbon casks will start to kick in. I'm not getting too much tropical here yet. We're probably on the verge of starting to turn there.
I think with water, it has this beautiful custard feeling. You know that burnt sugar that they put on a flan. The burnt parts, you get that that comes out really lovely.
Yep. Nobody's surprised that I like sherry. What
happened?
I don't get it.
Where? What?
The commenters. No, everybody's like, I'm not surprised that Scott likes sherry. Of course, Scott likes sherry.
Because the Dirtiff, right? In our last conversation, if you could choose any type of bottle, it would be Oloroso and PX Cask.
Oh,
Look at you.
My heart.
And then so good. Mm.
Throw that Oloroso into the air and it turns into sunshine.
Oh, very nice.
That's an old movie quote. Kind of, not Oloroso. Something else was in there, but
Okay, what movie?
well, we'll see if anybody that's watching knows that one.
Okay. Yeah, so I think with water, there's not so much of a tropical fruit profile, but you get that kind of caramel flan thing happening. Mm.
Ooh,
Mm.
yeah. First sip with water, creamier. I mean, this is like a raspberry, almost like a little bit of a raspberry brownie. With a fresh dollop of whipped cream, or maybe even just sitting in some sweet buttercream.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Served on a oak stave.
I think of butter cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Mastro's, they have this butter cake. It's probably 10,000 calories, but really worth it. Just biting into butter and it's so awesome.
Oh, well, there's no sherry here. Man, sticky toffee pudding comes to mind, and we had a whiskey named Sticky Toffee Pudding, which was a sherry cask.
You know what? It makes a lot of sense, Scott, because when I taste this, I feel like it's one of those whiskeys where it to me tastes like it's been exposed to both Oloroso and sherry, and you get the both of both worlds. If I had this blind, I would have thought, oh, it's had some like both casks. So I really appreciate the texture and the flavor of this quite a bit. So I can definitely see the sticky toffee pudding for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's weird though that it's just a first fill barrel.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's probably the 20 years of age in there. Probably a lot of the caramels, from the wood. But I mean, I can see a little bit of sticky toffee pudding on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Duke McHale got it. Tom R was wrong with the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang guess. That was not the movie. Duke McHale got it right with Harlem Nights. That was a Harlem Nights quote. That's an old one. That was a good one. That was a Red Fox. Red Fox said that in the movie.
Okay. I gotta get.
You probably never heard of either one of those, have you, Lynn? One, you haven't heard of Harlem Nights or Red Fox?
No. But I will Google it and see if I can watch it. Although when Tom said chitty chitty bang bang, because I'm very immature, that's how I talk about when two people bump uglies and make love to each other.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is an old movie from the 60s, maybe mid 70s, or probably mid 70s, early 70s. Had an old car in it. Yeah. And the car flew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Hitchcock. Does that count at all? I like his movies.
I've actually never watched that one.
Hitchcock movies?
No. Or any of them? Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen any.
Oh. Yeah, you're probably because you're more on the normal side. I think I like them kind of.
That's true.
When I start talking, people are like, whoa, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm ready for this, understandable.
Duke says 1968 for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh.
It's chit. Let me get that pronounced right for you, Lynn. Chitty with a CH. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I like how you say it. Have swag. Yeah. Delicious.
I love this one with water. No surprise, probably gonna surprise a lot of people too. I like sherry. I do like most of our whiskeys. I really like with some water. I think it's helping this one. Not too much water though. There's a sweet spot in there at 59.6%. This is a gorgeous whiskey. It's a great example that a 20-year-old Distillery 63, ex-bourbon cask. And it's a black label. It's not a vault. So it's that in between, black label.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
go back to focus again.
Like if you want to treat yourself to something special, this is the one, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And $215, not too bad of a price for a 20-year single cask, 59.6%. That's a great value on this one.
Totally.
Tasting notes on the bottle. A sweet floral perfume was followed by coffee beans and gorse flower custard, diluted lychees, grapes, and elderflower.
Mm.
Yeah. The fruitiness. I think you called out a little bit of the floralness earlier on it. Very nice. That one, that's a winner.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Winner, chicken dinner.
It's sexy, guys. And ladies.
AF.
Yes. Just hug it, caress it, play some love jams.
Call it my very own.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we'll go to another black label. This one, again, we've got a couple of heavy hitters coming up on the palate. So I'm bumping these up so we can really experience this one. This is a grain, G8.27. Looks good in leather. This is a 32-year-old, 48.1%. So we have seen the ABV on this one come down a little bit. Not too bad. That's a lowland distillery, by the way. We'll talk a little bit about that more here in a little bit. First fill ex bourbon barrel. The price on this one, $295. I looked up. I was looking up this distillery to see who else had offerings here. There were online 28 to 30-year-olds that were in the $400 range.
Ooh.
So a 32-year-old here, $295. I also had to do a little research here on G8 on this distillery, this lowland distillery, which is shuttered, by the way, and has been since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So these barrels, these whiskeys, these bottles are few and far between, and they're really probably a last chance effort at ever having anything from this distillery for people out there. It's now a cooperage. So
I have to say that typically I've told people for many years that when it comes to like grain scotches, I like them in the 20 to 25-year range. And I'm very much reminded of people who talk about the glory days of their life and how like high school they were the best. And after that, it's past its prime. But I have to say, trying this, I was really surprised by how delicious it was. Oh, okay, go ahead. Talk. I'm sorry.
No, I was showing the color, letting you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in the spicy and dry profile as well. This one could be in a couple different profiles, probably, but again, I mean, coming from that 20-year-old Distillery 63 was a gorgeous whiskey. This is a gorgeous whiskey as well.
Mm-hmm. I love the nose on this because it's like salted butter.
Yeah, I'm looking at comments. Sorry, I had to go back a ways.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead with your notes. Yeah.
No,
I was just looking. Tom R said that Scott likes anime movies. LOL. I have not watched any anime movies. Bart is seriously trying to get me to watch some anime movie that's on Netflix. I have no interest in it. I don't want to. I'm like, leave me alone. Jen Currents, my girlfriend, by the way, says, for those that don't know, she's been on here. She's always watching.
Yes.
She says that I remember the plots to all of the movies too and who was in them. Tom R says that, talking about me, my memory is fantastic. And Jen says that, yes, sometimes that works in my favor and sometimes not.
Oh, no.
And Tom says that to Jen, he says, when in doubt, you're always right. And he knows that.
Oh.
All right. Dusty. honeycomb,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oak. Of course, at 32 years, first fill ex bourbon. You should expect
Mm-hmm.
some. Very nice though, and great color on this one too as well. I think.
Mm-hmm. So get some Madeline, that dessert. Of course. Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
What is now? So I've seen there is a French. I don't want to say bistro deli more. That's called Madeline's that I've been
Mhm.
to in Texas.
Mhm.
And you just referenced a dessert Madeline,
Yes,
which is what?
it's this, which I
You just happen to have handy.
oh my god, the smell of butter. I look for stuff where the second or first ingredient is butter or sugar. I'm not gonna live very long, guys. It's it's not that enough. I love butter so much. Now that I pulled it out of the package, I really want to eat it, but we gotta focus.
Looks like a good palate cleanser.
Hmm.
Toasted notes, toasted oak, honeycombs.
Yes, a little bit of melon, cantaloupe on the nose too.
See, I love to look for those tropical, those melon notes in these older green whiskeys. I'm not getting it yet on the nose.
Mm. But I definitely get butter, butter, and brown sugar. My favorite ingredients.
All right. Cheers. Let's get in on the palate.
Yes. Mm. Wow. Okay. Milk chocolate, coconut flakes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
We're turning the thing is though, it's more oak cask influenced up front, but the finish on this one, those tropical notes, that coconut kicks in really smooth.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily get, the melons or anything anywhere through it. It's really a nice creamy vanilla,
Mhm.
coconut, milk chocolate, white chocolate
Mhm.
type finish.
Yeah, and I really, yeah, pleasantly am surprised. This is probably the first green whiskey in the 30-year range that I've come across and that I genuinely like. I have no poker face, which is unfortunate. So if I don't like something, I'll just be like, well, whatever. So yeah.
I really reference a lot some of the Compass box, the Muse, or not the Muse, Hedonism,
Mm-hmm.
which is a grain whiskey. He uses older grain, Scotch whiskeys in those. But the special editions of Hedonism,
Mm-hmm.
one of the main ones with the Muse had
Mm-hmm.
like 30 and 40-year-old grain whiskeys in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so delicious. I mean, everything turning those nice tropical notes and just so smooth and creamy. They're just gorgeous whiskeys. And we're there with this one. This one is, although it's a little thicker on the palate, I think because of that first fill ex bourbon, there's a little bit more ex bourbon cask influence here. I think if this was a second fill
Mm-hmm.
barrel, that those tropical notes would really be exploding on this one.
Mm-hmm.
They're here, but they're a little bit subdued or they're underneath. I bet you water may bring them out as well.
Mm. All right. I'm going to pour more because I really enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. This is a great mid Outturn lineup. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And there's still two heavy hitters coming that are both, there as well. So that's what I say. I think this is one of the better mid-month Outturns that I've seen. That I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely get milk chocolate on this through and through. No tropical fruit, and yeah, I mean the proof is probably low compared to what we carry, but I like it. I think it's a very balanced whiskey. So
But for a 32-year-old, I don't think it's that far off.
yeah.
48% is a little bit lighter than a lot of our whiskeys,
Mhm.
and the lightest one tonight by far. But for a 32-year-old whiskey to still be 48.1, very nice.
Mhm.
We did have one last year, and it wasn't. Fact is, it wasn't even. It was only, I want to say, 18 or a 20-year-old that was
Mhm.
like 42 or 43%. It had really taken a hit
Oh,
on the
wow.
ABV.
Mm. Yeah. I feel like I need to message my friend and say, I've been wrong about 30 something year old grain whiskey. This is really good.
Oh yeah.
Fan. Yeah.
You've been wrong. What did you say before about 30-year-old grain whiskeys?
I would say it was just like a dusty, sounds
Oh.
bad, a dusty supermodel who's like no longer in her prime and she's not doing the runway walk anymore.
Hey, don't you say anything bad about Cindy Crawford.
Oh, she's timeless. She's perfect. She's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's some you've seen where then the tabloids they've partied a little too hard, and you're like, Don't you? Have I ever shared that quote with you by Alec Baldwin's character in 30 Rock from the Sun, where he says, "Lemon for men, 50 is the new 40, and for women, 50 is still the 60." So that's what I think about. Originally 30-year-old grains, but
Jen,
I love this. I generally love this.
Jen's going to be commenting here in a minute. She'll be like, "What'd he say about Cindy Crawford?" Okay, so I added water.
Oh,
no, don't do that.
Oh, okay.
No, stick with this one at 48. I didn't put too much on here where it killed it, but it's definitely different. I mean, it brought it down. This one neat at the 48.1 is where it's at.
Jen has a funny comment.
That's right. 2 weeks ago when we were doing the March Outturn, we had a surprise visitor. I was at Jen's in Tampa, and Jenna stopped by.
Yeah.
And she popped in real quick on the live.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like people still talk about her, which I think is really lovely that she's made such a great impact for the community. So
yeah. Water, a little bit of a tobacco, more of a tobacco starting to show. Some of the sweetness went away with water here. I like this one neat, but
okay. I'm curious now.
I mean, if you want to add a drop of water in there, if you want to, but.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It did become. I think the drop of water puts this into the spicy and dry category. Before that, you did have some fruits, and you had some of the age showing, a little bit of the coconut on the finish.
Yeah.
Water definitely turning this one oaky, spicy, dry.
This is like this is gonna be controversial, but I feel like it's like a lady who's put on, she knows how to contour her face with makeup, and she's like, oh, that's a gorgeous lady, and then she washes her face. You're like, who's this person? Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
I always have to wear war paint on camera because I am challenging.
Not true.
No, you've seen me. It's like I've seen myself. It's pretty bad. It's horrible, guys.
All right, let's look at tasting notes on the bottle. G8.27 looks good in leather. Soft leather hugs the curves of a ripe banana, coated with
Sorry. I heard leather and banana and I just started laughing, Scott. I'm very immature. Sorry.
Soft leather hugs the curves of a ripe banana. That is kind of odd because a banana doesn't have any curves. Well, I mean, it's got a slight curve, but coated with lavish chocolate, ground coffee beans, and sour cream mixed with cinnamon.
I don't know. This whole bottle sounds very sexual to me, Scott.
Woo! Sweat. It's like too early for me to think about leather and bananas. Okay, moving on to the next one.
Right there. See, Tom R says, Lynn, you are making an impact. Speaking for myself, I appreciate your nosing and tasting notes.
Oh, well, thank you, Tom.
Sean Spaeth says, for real, that's a pretty suggestive description.
I wish I were there to see the tasting panel do this. Like, there must have been like some flirting going on between coworkers. I don't know. Anyway. All right.
This is whiskey number 5. Oops. I wasn't going to show you. I was going to talk this one up a little bit.
Ooh, yes.
For those that see that color, oily and coastal. Yes. And this is a good one. One we don't see a lot of releases from, and they do go pretty quick. This one is very unique and a great flavor profile for it, but also our cask types involved here on this one as well. For a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to?
Here we go.
Want me to read it?
Do it.
Okay, yeah. 16-year distilled in 2005. This is a 54.7% ABV expression. It's aged in a first fill Oloroso barrique, shaved, toasted, and recharred. Yeah.
Now, let's see, I'm right here. Let me look this one up, what our time frames were on this one.
Okay. And real quick, after 14 years in a bourbon hogshead, it gets transferred to our first fill STR Oloroso barrique.
So just 2 years, 14 and 2. But here, I should have been showing this. This is darker for just 2 years in that STR Oloroso than the 10-year that we reviewed earlier. The 6.69 was a 10-year in a second fill sherry butt. This one is darker for just a couple of years in a sherry.
Wow. I think SOWS has some like banging wood, huh? Like there's some stuff where it's only aged for a few years. Like, whoa, there's so much heavily influence in certain casks.
Yeah. The Nocturne Sipper. The 20-year and the 32-year-old we bumped up in our review tonight to get them ahead of this palette on this one and the next one. Of course, Distillery 4, usually a lightly peated. I don't get any of that on the nose.
Nope. A little bit of cinnamon toast for me.
Dark. I mean, this is. I mean, it's. There's Oloroso on the nose. It's dark fruits.
Get figs, jam.
Salty. Meaty.
And it's weird because I know, like you mentioned, typically they produce a lightly smoky expression. I can't pick that up.
No, maybe it's in here, maybe it's not. It could be that Oloroso cask could wipe out that lightly peatedness. Now we did have one though last year, though 2 years ago, that was Distillery 4 that was Oloroso cast as well. That was. At first, the peat didn't show, and then it was like as it got some air, then the peat started to come out.
Sorry, I just saw Jason Coates' message, and I started laughing. He said, "Hugging bananas and banging wood. What am I watching?" Well, wait until after hours, Jason. Just kidding.
This is a whiskey review show, Jason.
Okay.
I get some. Oh, there's a little bit. There was some sweet fruit there, darker. Berries and things like that, but a little bit of leather, a little bit of tobacco. This is rich on the nose. Cinnamons, nutmegs.
Yeah, cinnamon, nutmeg, figs, caramel. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna go
let's
for
get
it.
in. Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. Mm.
Mm.
Oh, wowie, wow, wow. I have to say, when I tried this earlier in the day, I was indifferent to it.
Mm.
But now it seems very juicy. Ooh.
This is a heavy hitter in this profile, oily and coastal. And ooh, man, this is nice. Up front, even when I just took that first sip, the way it sets in, those tasting notes start to set into your palate. But tobaccos, salty, meaty, savory, Italian meats, barbecued meats,
Mhm.
toffees, brown sugars. Go through all those Oloroso, sherry notes. This was a very active cask. If that's only 2 years, well, it was a STR, right? You said,
Mhm.
which is shaved, toasted, and recharred. So they took an Oloroso barrique, shaved it, toasted it, recharred it. It reactivates the wood, makes those, if there any of those tannins that are still in there, really brings them back to life, and it did on this one.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like when I had it, I want to say about 4 hours ago, I couldn't taste any smoke, and it tasted to me like it was all ex-bourbon cask. And then now that I'm
Oh.
tasting it, I can pick up that salty meatiness profile. Now for me, it's not like heavy-handed like the 10.253 that we talked about, but
Yep.
it's like a little bit softer, but still in that flavor profile, just gentler for me.
Yeah. Getting light hints of that peat in there. It is in there.
Mhm.
Little bit heavier than just like sometimes you get a barrel char. It is a little bit heavier than that. It's coming in. But man, the Oloroso, the STR barrique on this one, really playing a factor, really playing an influence. This is a great whiskey. This is a few and far between, whiskey.
Yeah, it's interesting to see its profile because for me, even when like we had the 4.360, I think it was called jangling jam or something. It was different. So in what is it called? Uh,
A jangling dram.
yeah,
Yeah, that was an 11-year-old. I can see it.
yeah, that was like a different flavor profile. And then for this one, it just
Oh.
it's a different point of view and then fun to see like that meat, that char, that saltiness that comes out in the finish, but it's very very subtle. You definitely get those like honey notes for the most part, which I think was what made Highland Park made Sicily for popular in the 90s by Paul Picot.
Yeah. Oh, good point there too. This one is 750 milliliters. Might be the last chance you ever have of getting a 750 milliliter SMWS. I think they're pretty much gone. There may be a straggler in there, but I put a pretty healthy round of water on here to see what happens. To me, the peat is in there, but it is lighter. It's what you expect from distillery number 4.
Yeah.
Or the one that you gave away.
Well,
But Jason Coates has a good point. He says we all know what number 4 is.
I quit social work for this distillery, so I just have I mentioned this before. I like this distillery.
Yeah. Great info. Let me try it with a drop of water.
I actually appreciate with water. It seems like it's bolder. Like the tannins, the spice comes out. It almost comes. It's like a little bit. It just wakes you up and just kind of slaps you in the face. Not a bad slap, but like a gentle, non-leather banana slap.
Yeah. following the curves of the banana.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything with it. There's a little bit of leather, there's a little bit of tobacco, there's a little bit of dark fruits, there's a little bit of oak, there's a little bit of nuttiness, there's a little bit of spice. I mean, it's like everything's just really in here. You can spend a while dissecting this one.
It's like the Wynn buffet at Las Vegas. You get a little bit of
everything. Yeah. A little bit of everything.
I love
that, some of that, some of that. I'll take some of that again, some of that one.
Yes. Delicious.
Wow. Well, let's one more sip. I put a healthy round of water here. Then we'll move on to our last and final bottle number 6.
Wow. What a killer lineup. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Tasting notes on the bottle, 4.303. And we went back a ways because Jangling Dram is 4.360. And this one is 303. So 57 casks earlier. This one must have got, and it's a 750. So it must have got bottled a while back. And then for some reason, the release date got pushed back for whatever reason. I don't know. But tasting notes, 4.303, a nocturne sipper, which means a nighttime sipper. The perfect fusion of gently peated Orcadian single malt with old-style leathery, nutty notes, one to linger over into the night. I agree. That's another great
I drink it in the daytime or breakfast, but that's just me.
No, just nighttime. Only nighttime. It says it's in the name, nocturne sipper.
I just have no self-control. I mean, I have like randomly Madeleines on my table.
Yeah. I get notes of Madeline. What's a Madeline? Oh, I have some right here.
And next time it'll just be like butter cake. Oh, I'm glad you asked what a butter cake.
Warren Buff pointed out it's a 16-year-old distilled in 05. So let's see.
January.
Yeah, distilled in 05. Yeah. So distilled in 05. This was bottled in 21. Usually it'd be 22, maybe early 23 before it hit the States. And here it is a year and a half later.
Yeah.
That one, I mean, that's a great whiskey. I don't know why it would have sat there. That maybe it got lost in the shuffle.
I wish I had that problem where I just like have so many whiskeys and then like, oh, what's this? You know, kind of like if what rich people do when they have money, they just like forget, you know. I think they do. Yeah.
Tom R says number 4 goes great with donuts. And when he said that, what immediately came to mind was one of the donuts that's filled with like the raspberry jelly. I could picture drinking that, as Lynn mentioned, in the morning with a raspberry filled donut.
Oh my gosh. Tom, there's like a donut spot in Costa Mesa called Sidecar Donuts. I think they expanded in LA too. Because I think Tom's from LA.
No, Tom's in St. Louis.
Oh, I like Tom. I don't know what I'm talking about, but maybe you should just go to California.
No, he's Chicago. Sorry. Chicago, not St. Louis. All right. 6th and final whiskey.
Oh, right. Okay. We're doing 41.161. This is Scott's favorite because it's a modern masterclass, 16-year.
Just like all the commenters, what do you mean this is my favorite?
So distilled in May 2006. This is 61.2% ABV in the Speyside region. And it's aged in a first fill. I'm going to mispronounce this. Chinkapin oak barrel, heavy toast, medium char cask.
Well, double ex-bourbon hogshead and a first fill Chinkapin oak. Other bottles we've had, I think, have had Chinkapin oak barrel, but it has to be a oak naturally. by the definition of Scotch. But first fill Chinkapin barrel. Yeah. And the other whiskeys we've had from Chinkapin Oak, gorgeous, delicious whiskeys. So color on this one, really similar to the last one. The 16-year-old with 2 years in sherry.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, very nice. Darker. And what was our ages on this one, Lynn? Do you have that? Like, how long was it ex-bourbon and how long was it Chinkapin?
I looked at the notes and it said, it's probably wrong because it said in the back end that was like combined selected cask for 13 years, but it's a 16-year. So I don't know.
Let me look it up here real quick. What is it? 41,161?
Yes. Let me check one more time.
Oh no, this is kind of like the distillery 4s that we had. We took several casks from distillery 4 and we combined them together, and then we reparceled them out into individual casks. That's what happened with this one.
Okay.
So,
I didn't
at 13 years, we had several casks from distillery 41 at 13 years of age that were combined, and then they were parceled out into different casks. This one was then sent. So then they took some of that and put into the first fill Chinkapin barrel. So this is kind of like some of those distillery 4s we had that were really kind of a small batch, and then back into a single batch, a single cask release.
Can you explain to new guy here what Chinkapin is?
That's a good question. Let me look it up because it's just a well, hold on. I hate to I need to get. I can look there. Everyone else that's watching is looking too.
Oops. I have never come across a Chinkapin cask before until.
Chinkapin oak is native to the Midwest. I'm going to guess of the states, probably similar to a lot of the oak that comes from Ozark Mountains. It's a breed of oak. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Quercus Mulin. I say I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, and then I do. It's native to the Midwest, often found as a specimen planting as part of a grouping of trees in parts of large areas. Chinkapin oaks are found on dry limestone outcrops in the wild and perform well in alkaline soils. Blah blah blah. You can Wikipedia that one. So, but deep, rich, and dried fruits, Chinkapin oak. I think what we're looking at is probably Chinkapin oak that had some sort of a sherry or a wine in it, even judging by the color.
Toffee on the nose. Toffee pudding.
Yeah, Warren Buff posted the Quercus name there. Anybody? Jason Coates points out that the Chinkapin is getting more and more popular in new Scotch. Say uses a lot. Tom R says that Chinkapin tastes great. All you need to know.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. So nose.
Toffee.
Look, it's darker. Yes. Toffees. What's our ABV? Oh, 61. Why isn't that scrolling?
It is 61.2%.
But man, we've been over 60% almost all night. Well, three of the 6, but it does burn the nose a little bit. The ABV on this one, darker. It's a darker nose, a little bit sweeter. I'm trying to dissect and discern what some of these are.
I get like rum raisin bread or like pudding bread. What is that when they put bread and then there's custard?
Bread pudding, just bread pudding.
Yeah, bread pudding.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
raisins.
There's a lot of butter in that, Lynn.
Oh, butter.
Like good old Kerrygold butter. Cinnamon, spices.
Yes.
But not peppery. Cinnamon, nutmegs.
Yeah. Nut for sure. A little bit of cloves, but definitely cinnamon and nutmeg.
Oak. All right, palate.
Okay.
Last one. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Ooh. All right. I'm a little bit biased now. As a Vietnamese person, we like strong, dark black coffee with like a lot of sugar. And this tastes like Vietnamese coffee. Oh my God. Scott's having a moment. He's got a leather and banana moment.
Oh my. Wow. That is.
This is awesome. I kept, wow, this whole lineup is like shockingly.
It is. I know. Do you agree? This is one of the best mid-month outturns I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
This is the gift that keeps on giving here, man. I can't believe this is 13 years and then 3 years in the Chingapan oak. This is unless that first cat does well, no, because it's ex-bourbon hogshead. I was gonna say unless those first casks that were combined were sherry influenced. But no, 13 years in ex-bourbon hogshead and then 3 years into this Chingapan oak. There is heavy influence here. This is impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was tasting it and it just kept hitting with these different layers of chocolates and dark fruits and fudges and oats, and it just kept going. And I'm going in again.
Roasted coffee, chestnuts, chocolate, hazelnuts, and then it shows you different arrays of chocolates. It goes from like dark chocolate, milk chocolate to like cold brew coffee, Vietnamese coffee, everything I want in life. Holy crap. I did not experience this kind of sensation 4 hours ago, but really, oh, Scott, are you metaphorically pregnant? Just kidding.
Wow.
Woo! I bet you get to share this with Jen, and you're gonna have a fun night.
She says, "I'm not worried about Cindy Crawford. I'm worried about 41.1."
Jen's so awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow. This is amazing. I don't know that I would lean and say like this is like an exclusively matured, in sherry, but I would, if you told me this was a 16-year and I tasted that, I'm thinking this is maybe 10 years ex-bourbon and 6 in the Chingapan oak, or even 8 and 8, something like that. This feels like it's a lot longer. The depth on this one, the chocolates, the fudges, the nuttiness, the leathers is just, it's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
Yeah. Wow. It's moments like these where I just think, I can't believe we get to do this for a living. This is pretty awesome. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah.
One more neat, then I got to add some water, but this is.
I've never said this before, but it's one of those moments where I'm like, you should just buy all the life that's released tomorrow. Oh boy.
We should have a bundle with all 6 whiskeys.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Awesome.
Spices, cinnamons and nutmegs, fruits. This one it feels again here though more Oloroso. It's spicy and dry. It's not like Pedro Jimenez syrupy sweet. Some of the berry notes like that. More, even a little bit more astringent, oaky. cinnamons, nutmegs, oak, a little bit of a black pepper, a little bit of that spice.
Yeah.
But
You get a little bit of pepper, and then I get a little bit of that coffee syrup. It's I like this a lot. Wow, what a strong lineup! Unbelievable.
all right, healthy round of water here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I prefer having it neat. I think the spice comes out and it's drier with water. Whew. It's a little bit like somebody just slapped me in the face. I feel like my mom just yelled at me just a little bit, which is not fun hearing an Asian woman being a tiger mom.
Lynn, what are you doing eating ice cream for breakfast? What did I tell you about that? Smack, smack, boom.
Yeah, I think it's perfect neat, but I'm curious to hear your take on it with water.
Well, I like this one with water. It really expanded everything. Man, I think it even became a more of a punch on the palate with water. And even like you, at first you were like, woo, woo, woo. It almost like it expanded it, and the ABV even got a little bit hotter almost with water. But then it just became more of everything. Really, it just kind of expanded. It didn't add anything. I'm not getting any more notes that I wasn't before, but it just really pushed everything up there. Wow. All of these I just kind of took a couple little sips of the other day when I got them. I opened them up, poured samples, and I knew there were some. I was like, man, this is a good lineup. There's some good ones in there, and it's not disappointing.
Yeah, I personally like it neat. Again, going back to my mom yelling, it hits too close to home, and I prefer somebody being gentle around me. I'm sensitive.
Wow. A little bit of a red hot cinnamon now with water.
Hold on, Tim. Oh, sorry. Go on. Continue.
The red hot cinnamon candies.
It's a little bit like those Asian peppers where they creep up from you and they just like kick you in the ass. Okay. Well, Tom suggested I dip my cookie in the dram, so I'm gonna do it, guys.
Do it. You bet.
Oh, she's fat, which I like. Thick.
Mark Goins, Mark JG says, I was planning on 2, but don't know which 2. Where do you normally lie, Mark? It's hard. There's just some great ones in here. And even doing the lineup was hard. And like I bumped the 2 black labels up just because the Oily and Coastal, the number 4 before this one, gorgeous whiskey. Both the black labels, gorgeous whiskeys. The Oily and Coastal, gorgeous whiskey. This one, gorgeous whiskey. This number 6, a little bit cheaper, gorgeous whiskey as well.
Wow, good call, Tom. Madeline's and dipping it in this fancy whiskey is pretty dang delicious. Well,
let me throw just a little bit. We're going to be wrapping it up here. Let me bring this one down a little bit. Let's just see wow, that one is.
Wow.
I don't want to say that one is Cindy Crawford, but.
Woo! I mean, your reaction, it was like Cindy Crawford and Kate Moss or some other supermodel like Kate Moss.
I'd have to go like Cindy Crawford and Christy Brinkley.
Oh, that's a babe. Yeah, they're both babes for sure. Yeah. I think my like description for attractive people, it has made people like question my preference because it's always been some really like I really love James May from Top Gear. I don't know if you.
I don't know that. I don't know him.
Oh well, my friend said he looks like he stole his grandma's blouse and he shops at a thrift store. So he's not attractive, but I find him really attractive.
Because he reads poetry and he's grumpy.
Or would Dwight Yoakam be in your top 5?
Dwight Yoakam? I don't know who that is. I have to Google.
Oh,
Okay, I'm intrigued now. Because if he's
we'll let Lynn Google Dwight Yoakam.
hold on.
He's a country singer from the
Oh wow.
80s.
Well,
and 90s.
he kind of does look like James May. Not too far off. Hmm. Well, I'm glad some people in this group chat really appreciate James May. Thank you, Jason and Christine.
All right. Wow.
You have a favorite at all? I mean,
You know, the thing is, though, that one is good. But if you ask me my favorite, I mean, there's still that's a hard decision because there are some great ones in there. There just are. This is a great mid-month Outturn. All of these 6 whiskeys available tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I do have. Oh no, I don't have it on my computer. The chart, but we reviewed all 6 whiskeys tonight that are going to be available tomorrow. So
awesome. Yeah.
The lottery ended today. Excuse me, for the 10.253. So the first round of notifications went out on that one. If you did not get a notification, keep in mind there were roughly, I want to say 220 bottles available. We had 500 people put in for that cask from last week. Lynn and I previewed it. Generally, there's 30 to 40 people that don't end up buying it. So we go down the list. We notify the next 30 to 40 people after 48 or 72 hours. So if you didn't get notified that you got a chance to buy it, wait till Wednesday or Thursday. There could be a chance you get an email that says, hey, you've got a chance to buy it. So just because you didn't get notified today doesn't mean you're out of luck. And that's a great whiskey as well. So,
all right.
Again, all of these tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. These will be available. 6 stellar casks. This is a great lineup. Thank you, Lynn.
Well, thank you, Scott, for putting up with my terrible, dirty jokes. Leather and curved bananas is the theme tonight for how I felt about the whiskey. So good job, tasting.
I feel it's an honest assessment, Lynn.
Yes. Because you know what? Speaking of which, when I worked at a liquor store back in the day, I would see sometimes men look at like Lafroig, and I would say, hey, if I were a man, Lafroig would give me a triple wood, and then I'll just walk away. And they turn around like, who's this crazy person that just said something really inappropriate to me? And then they would buy the Lafroig triple wood. So there you have it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Sad that it's discontinued. Shame on you.
Did they discontinue the triple wood?
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah.
That was one of the core lineups.
Yeah.
And actually pretty tasty. The Carchus triple wood that they did a few years ago was really good too.
What? I missed that one.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that tuned in. And remember, as we say on the back of every Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottling, SMWS whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. That was fun. That was really fun.